My aunt has requested my presence at the castle not too long ago by letter as well as a reply. What did I do? I just tossed the parchment onto the table and sat alone in the living room. Well, what was left of it after Shining Armor took some of the couches and the chairs, some on tables and whatever. Reason why I let them take them? Well, most of the stuff was registered from our wedding and bought from his side of the family. Maybe he was going to give it back. I don't know. I can't think. Emotions were getting the best of me as I sat there leaned up against the one sofa that Shining Armor did not take. Looking through the photo album, I admit was not best for the situation. Pictures of us happy, hoping to have a bright future together. Pictures of us having fun, of us hugging, kissing, looking into each other's eyes, wearing silly hats, eating cotton candy, all of the fun stuff. Sadly, nothing could repair this. Even if I could, I would have to go back to him crawling and begging for forgiveness. But no, I was the last pony he wanted to see. I thought going outside would do me some good, though news does travel far and wide quickly. Some ponies whispered to their friends as I walked past them, others just kept to themselves. But there were a few ponies that felt the need to shout insults my way, saying I hoped I enjoyed having a multi-million-bit wedding just to go waste another pony's time. Thanks Celestia, those ponies were far and in between. The shop still served me and did not care about the whole affair. Some ponies just did not care. Surprisingly, they did not care who I was. Guess I'm just another celebrity in the midst of having the moment of fame. Oh, how I remembered a year ago how little ponies would come running up to me offering me flowers and hugs just to get close to a princess. Still, some young ponies would wave. I would weakly wave back to them and put on a pretend smile. Oh, how my soul was hurting right now. The paparazzi did not go without their annoyances of getting pictures of me while I was trying to eat. I was trying to buy myself a pair of sunglasses to shield my eyes from the tears that this whole mess formed. Even that was hard and had flashes here and there. Trying to buy a drink, flashes. Trying to sit alone at the park, flashes. Not too soon after the field reporter tried to ask for an interview, I was on my last nerve and shouted at her. Big mistake, more flashes. I could not have a moment to myself without some stupid, bright flash. I told them, please leave me alone. I wanted to be left in peace. Not even that. I don't know what came over me. Maybe it was the annoyance. Maybe it was the feeling of me being desperate. But I managed to snag one of those cameras and smashed it to the ground. Then tried to wrestle another one away with my magic. Oh, what a fine day it was. Soon pictures of me stressed out were going to be uploaded on camera phones. And so I just ran home, crying, defeated. What was I supposed to do from now on? Hide in my house until I'm no longer the talk of the town? Just another royal letter appeared in the front of my face. I sighed in relief. Hopefully Aunt Celestia could calm the situation, at least make the paparazzi go away. I did not respond to her letter, but I knew that this one had to be urgent. I had unrolled the parchment and read it to myself. Dear Cadence, I request your presence at the Royal Palace tonight to discuss some things. I already sent one of my chariots to your home. Bring a change of clothes and any of your necessities that you may need for the next few days. Love, Princess Celestia. Maybe this was Aunt Celestia's way of telling me to stay at the castle for a few more days to avoid the angry ponies. Later that night, the flying chariot did come, and I brought my luggage with me. Maybe a few days away from home would do me some good. The ride was not long, and I had one of the guards carry my bag, though coming back to the castle was a bit uneasy. I mean, the whole fairy tale wedding that I wanted since I was a little girl was held here. It gave me a stabbing feeling in the heart just thinking about it. The guards were quiet, though you might be thinking they're supposed to be, but usually they say, yes ma'am, or no ma'am. My apologies, here you are, none of that. Almost like they had been told to not even talk to me. The guard brought my bag to the front door, and the other guard finally said he would take it to my room, set up while Celestia was waiting in her study. Hopefully seeing another face will calm me. I walked into the rest of the way to Celestia's study hall and knocked on the door. All I heard was, in the most uncaring tone, "Come in," she said. I opened the door and stood in the doorway. I meekly said hello. Celestia was reading over a book. I could not tell what it was because of how dim the room was. Only the fireplace was giving off a light source. She looked up and gave a slow, forming smile. She greeted me, but not with a smile. She waved at me to sit across from her. "It looks like you had quite the predicament," she frowned. I only nodded in response. I could cry like a little girl to her mom to kiss the bruises away, but a foolish one that will not be easy to mend back together. She shook her head in disappointment. "I invited you up here so that you could get your bearings together, but I also wanted to talk to you about this matter." "I know, but—" I stumbled with my words. "Cadence," she said sternly, "I've seen the article. I thought of a marriage I could perform myself, one that I approved of, and one that I wished that went well, ended up in a scandal." I'm sorry, but I tried to say, "There were so many ponies that came here wishing you and Shining Armor a success. I know that some marriages can end badly, but with you two, after what I saw, I thought it was a surefire thing. I thought that maybe once an alicorn could finally find happiness among the regular ponies." Her voice saddened, but I was wrong. "But you're not wrong, Celestia," I said. "I just made a stupid mistake." Again her face turned sour. "And that you did. The meaning of marriage was supposed to mean—" "I know, all right!" I shouted, almost getting ready to blubber. "I don't know how many times I said this, but I got drunk. I made a stupid mistake," I heaved. "Now Twilight Sparkle and her friends hate me. Not only that, I screwed up Big Macintosh's life too. Ponies hissing at him, accusing him of destroying a good marriage, but all that is bull. Shining Armor called me names and moved out. Now he won't talk to me, to even let me explain or even apologize. I don't even know if I'm pregnant or not." Celestia just sat there, not saying anything. Her face remained with that sour look. I continued, "What's worse is that I'm being called names by ponies in the marketplace. Photographers are taking pictures of me at my worst. Some even say that we enjoy flushing their tax bits down the toilet. Every pony is mad at me. Twilight even threw me out of her library. I tried apologizing, but it did no good. The only pony that will even try to bite my head off was Big Macintosh." Princess Celestia nodded her head. "Trust is not easy getting back," I blubbered. "I'm sorry!" Aunt Celestia stopped with her lecture and hugged me. There was not too many ponies from here to Ponyville that was actually cared about what I had to say, but I'm glad it was my aunt. "I'm sorry too," she said as she patted me on the back. "I was angry when I heard about this." She looked down with a sad look. "But I never wanted you to go unhappy." Tears were shed as I cried more and more. "Cadence?" I looked up, sniffling and hiccuping. "Yes." "How about staying here for a couple days?" she asked. "It will help clear your head." What about Shining Armor?" I asked. She frowned. "Well, if he wants to continue not talking to you, then that's his problem. But if he comes around wanting to talk, then take the chance. And if you still love him and he loves you, then it will all mend well." "But what if he does not want to forgive me?" I asked again. She replied with a simple, "His loss." She explained, "If he does not want to listen to you, you two end up getting your separate ways, and just know that there is a big world out there for you two." With deep, piercing eyes looking at me, she asked, "Were you unhappy during your marriage?" I defended myself. "I'm very happy with it." "Were you?" she asked again. I lowered my head. "There were complications that I was trying to work out." "Just you, or you and Shining Armor?" she asked. I sighed. "Just me." She puckered her lip and nodded. "I see. It's not that. Well, Shining Armor and I sort of have drifted apart in the romance, as he would be all sweet the first few weeks. It got a bit sour, where he would go to work off course. I explained. He would always overexert himself, then come home and flopping onto the bed. I tried to give him a massage and encourage him, but he just kept quiet. It's either work or he comes home smelling like alcohol or even some sort of fragrance. Plop down on the bed or play video games with his friends. He does not want to go anywhere with me. We also have been fighting about things. He has not even taken me out to lunch or dinner since the wedding. And the days he does try to get sweet with me, his work always ends up calling him and he has to go in. Celestia only nodded as I tried to explain. The more I told her, the more I knew that she was getting more disappointed. Then she came out and said, "Maybe we should turn in for the night. You had a hard day after all." I only nodded and went off to my room. Celestia explained that the bill was only sent out of anger and she'll take care of it, no problem. She apologized for it as well, but also told me that if I wanted to get married again, it had to be a surefire thing. I looked up at the ceiling after I plopped my face onto the bed. The fancy designs of decorations pressed up against the finish, going over the things in my head to what to say to Big Mac. I mean shining armor. Oh dear. Please forgive that. Oh, how I miss those strong red arm shining armor. Cadence, his fur is white, not red. Think straight. How can I be thinking of Big Macintosh when my marriage is on the line with shining armor?